boy, another anniversary in the same year.
What are you talking about?
It's our 12th Meekly Music Box episode. You
That's right.
stupid idiot. You didn't back me up on this at all. This was our big celebration. I have balloons behind me.
The mariachi band doesn't know if they should play or not.
I have dancing horses running through the street to announce our 1-year anniversary of our Meekly Music Box. And this is how you, like we've been saying, it feels like we just started doing these, but we have, it feels like we just started 12 months ago doing these.
I don't believe that it's been 12 months. I think you're mistaken.
So to celebrate, we have a special version of these Meekly Music Boxes to celebrate our 1-year anniversary. We have the actual musician with us. Not right now, but what you're about to hear is going to have the. Calm down, everybody.
Oh my God! How did they get Keith Richards? In the
Sit
same
back
room as
down.
them?
Clean up all of your burst monocle glass. Okay, so let me first tell you who the musicians are. It's Lamar Woods and Juancho Ca, aka the person we have with us that you're going to hear us talking to, our old pal Carl Tart.
We were so excited to talk to Carl Tart.
I am always so excited to talk to Carl Tart.
Yeah, no, it was really exciting because the songs they sent us, you had listened to them before I did, and you're like, oh, this is...
Because I didn't know, like I said in the thing, I didn't know he was doing music until I heard him say on another podcast that he was doing music. So I immediately said, well, then you could be on another podcast and tell people you do music. Well, then you're going to be on our podcast and tell people. And I said this to Carl Tart with that attitude.
I slowed him down, whatever he was doing. And I said, listen here, pal.
Yeah, but I was just talking to one of the billboard ads of him on his show. But this is also our first rap group of these. Yes. But you might remember Carl Tart from our field trip episode to the Coliseum. He's also, just today, Grand Crew, the show on NBC he's on, got renewed for season 2. So
yeah, I read
you can watch him on that. But he's someone who loves LA so much, and it comes through in every single thing he does. Like on Grand Crew, we talked about it in this, he's always wearing like an LA hat. Like even on Comedy Bang Bang, one of his characters is O.J. Simpson, because I'm sure everything about the O.J. Simpson trial was an obsession with him. But he's just someone who loves Los Angeles history and Los Angeles lore. And I knew that he knew a lot about gang history of LA. Yeah. But in this, he off the top of his head started reciting dates and history of malls around LA. And also he knows LA rap history like it's nothing. Never ceases to amaze me that he didn't tell me first that he was rapping.
Yeah, he started talking about the malls, but also like just hip hop history in LA. And I was like, oh, slow down. These are my notes.
I know. For an episode that we want to do, like you're you're spoiling the ending of what happened to Tupac.
After we had talked, I had listened to more tracks of theirs, and I forgot, what does they call the type? Is it leisure?
Lifestyle rap, I think he called it.
Lifestyle rap.
But specifically LA lifestyle rap, which we got into a little bit of just like relaxing a lot, like just doing things at times of day when people in other parts of the country are like, what do people in other parts of the country even do? Like write constitutions and stuff? Whatever those flyover people do. No, they stare at our airplanes as we fly over to New York.
That's right. They throw rocks at them, but they don't understand them.
So enough of us talking about Carl Tart. The first song, we're going to play the first song, and then we're going to go straight into our interview with him and then play the second song at the end. But the first song you're going to hear is No Espresso by Lamar Woods and Juancho Ca. So enjoy the interview and enjoy No Espresso by Lamar Woods and Juancho Ca.
Yo, Tart, what's good? Good to see you, baby. How you living?
Man, it's good to see you too, brother. I'm chilling, man. Cooler than the other side of the pillow, baby. How you living, though?
Bro, I'm cooler than feta cheese on a Greek salad, baby. But for real, how you living, though?
Man, I'm chilling, man. Cooler than a key lime pie, chilling in the Frigidaire, baby. How you living, though, for real?
Bro, I'm cooler than 2 cucumbers at the Hollywood Bowl, baby. But why don't you talk to him real quick?
Villa vibes.
Jumped out the bed, head to the kitchen, make some pizza rolls. I hit Prof like, what's the move? Let's discuss some evening goals. He say meet at the crib, the Uber Lux gon' come and get us. Cliff's Edge for dinner, vinaigrette on top of butter lettuce. But first we gotta check that drip, spending green like pesto. Hit the Glendale Americana, no espresso. The homies meet us there, then we mob out like a tribe. Connect my Bluetooth in the Uber, play some Villa vibes. We hit Delilah VIP like we on tour. It's crazy, I remember when I used to work the door. I dapped the bouncer up just to show him how we living. Nice of success, we off this class A and these hoes is with it.
The trees, the weather, the money, the clothes, it's all I know. If it's the drink, the smoke, the hoes, that's how it goes. This the life, this the life, this the life.
All day, every day. Let me talk to him real quick. Bruh. I'm feeling good, got my mental health a little cleaner. Sipping on some orange wine, straight from Argentina. Me and Tart, bout to hit the Glendale Galleria. Came out with more pairs of shoes and socks than a ballerina. I'm feeling good, I might just call Tina. She half black, half Japanese, that ass is Hiroshima. My brother got some new clubs, he bout to hit the course. Where I'm from, Atlanta, which side, nigga, north. Now I'm in LA, 10 years, West Coastin', eating some oysters, Tanqueray, right by the ocean, smoking on a boat. You could say a nigga floating, life is good. That's why my niggas always
I don't know
toasting.
if it's the trees, the weather, the money, the clothes, it's all I know. If it's the drink, the smoke, the hoes, that's how it goes. This the life, this the life. This the life, this the life.
You go Stetson for nice parties.
Yes, I call it the
Okay.
Chief Gillespie from In the Heat of the Night. The little cowboy hat.
Yeah,
It's like,
I know.
all I do is watch old people TV all day. I watch the conservative News Nation channel and they play In the Heat of the Night and Matlock and Murder, She Wrote. And then conservative talking points.
Do you? I see how it influences you. I can see it now.
This is the America we need back.
Do you watch Pluto TV?
No, but I do have that on my list of channel things on Apple TV
Yeah.
or whatever, and I watch the Price is Right channel on there quite a bit because they play episodes of Price is Right from like 1983, 84 and stuff, and to see the gifts that people get back then, and they're like jumping up and down. A new Yugo. It's 1984 Yugo, and it's like, oh my god, everybody's like, yes! And so it's just like crazy to me because none of us.
I got
were
this
born in
$500 Walkman for free today, and it's this big.
Yeah.
I constantly am watching back to Matlock, which if we've included this part in the recording, you've got a giant Matlock behind you.
Yes.
Which is just Andy Griffith's stuffed body that you somehow got.
It looks like it wants to slap your ears because its arms are opening wide.
So you're not supposed to hear that.
But the Andy Griffith channel is so comforting to just know that 24/7 there's an episode of the Andy Griffith show at my fingertips.
Oh man, that like Pluto TV has this now episode for Pluto TV. They had a drawn together, like Comedy Central Channel had like a drawn together marathon, and that's one of the funniest shows ever. Like that I don't think gets the credit, and maybe because I was 14 watching it, or when did it should come out. But it was so raunchy, and it was like raunchier than Family Guy at that time, which I'm a huge fan of. 2004, yes, I was 15, and it had 3 seasons, so it was like while I was in high school, and it was so funny. I watched it every time, and they had like a drawn together / Comedy Central channel that I watched.
That you fell into?
Yeah,
And it was just all the episodes from those 3 seasons
from those
over
3
and
seasons,
over.
just over and over again. That's it.
Don't start over. We're just going to push through.
Yeah.
And you can see the beginning when you finish this.
That's what I always figure, that they're going like on the Andy Griffith thing, they're going in like sequential order. And when I see like one of the later colorized episodes where where like, you know, Don Knotts is gone and Opie's like
15.
25 years old.
Yeah.
I keep waiting for like, well, I guess I just got to sit through the bad years for a while and then get back to the good old days.
One thing I learned this week was, you know, so Don Knotts did like 13 episodes of Matlock, but Andy Griffith didn't like him on Matlock. He thought he didn't fit on the show. But I remember watching those episodes. I've seen those episodes and they're all funny. Like Don Knotts is so funny. But Andy Griffith was like, he doesn't fit on the show.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah. How you gonna do that to your boy?
The more I learn about Andy Griffith's personal life and personal feelings, the less I want to hear about it.
Yeah.
it really destroys things.
I just can't wait till 40 years from now when we have the Daniel Zaffron Mystery Hour and Greg Gonzalez makes a guest star and Daniel's like, yeah, we're going to have to fire you, big dog.
Pulling the producer aside.
Yeah.
I don't
he's
know.
not.
It just doesn't fit here.
He lost that spark.
Yeah.
I remember hearing somewhere that Andy Griffith's show, he was supposed to be the comedic one doing his act, which is like the, you know, the hillbilly who recites Shakespeare or whatever. And then Don Knotts came along and everyone, including Andy Griffith, was like, oh no, he's the funny, I'll be the straight man. And I'm wondering if Don Knotts shows up at the set of Matlock and people are like, oh, Don Knotts, like, get him out of here before before he plays Matlock.
Yeah, you're not going to take this away from me again.
Me, Matlock.
Yeah.
Just because you brought up the Daniel Zaffron Mystery Hour this morning, actually, I wanted, for some reason, I wanted
mystery
to
this morning.
I got down to the bottom of a good one. I wanted to watch Uptown Saturday Night.
Yeah.
And I put it on like, oh, it's because it was listed like, oh, Sidney Poitier, Richard Pryor. And then I turn it on and the second name in the credits is Bill Cosby. And I'm like, oh, well, I guess I'm in for this.
Also, listen, I know we're woke, but Uptown Saturday Night, let's do it again. The only 2 times I've ever found Bill Cosby funny.
Really?
Yeah. Because the show was fun. You know, but it was like
the Cosby Mysteries you're talking about.
No, yeah, Cosby with Dougie Doug on CBS. The show, like, you know, I watched it in reruns. I wasn't really, you know, I was really young when it was on the air actually, but I watched it in reruns and it was fine. But it was just like I never like was just like, oh man, this is funny. It was never like Fresh Prince, you know,
right.
like it was
another problematic thing now.
Yeah, no, but those movies I watched as a kid, and Bill Cosby was very funny in those movies.
I hated it because like there were scenes in it where he's like walking through the club and like sizing up women, and I'm like, oh god, no.
Yeah.
And then but then there's a few moments where he's really funny, and I was like angry at him for making me laugh because it was like undeniably funny.
And Let's Do It Again, there's a physical bit that he does. He like walks into the restaurant and the actual like gangsters are in there, and he's like playing this character where he's trying to intimidate them. And so he has a gun that he's like trying to like find, but while he's talking to them about something else, but he just wanted to like show that he like had a gun, but his like pocket has a hole in it, so it falls down like the pocket. It's like such a funny physical bit. And I'm like, man, this guy is awful.
But look, we're not here to talk about Bill Cosby. As I have to start every episode, I feel.
Yeah. I'm sitting here scratching notes out. Don't bring him up again.
We're not
Don't
here
bring
to
him
talk.
up again.
That's UNW Kamal Bell's podcast. We're not here to talk about Bill Cosby.
As people, you know, after 5 minutes of hearing us talk about all of our favorite old comedians, before that, everybody heard No Espresso. So now, look who we've got here. As I live and breathe, we've got Carl Tart.
Wowee. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. My favorite podcast.
You're too kind.
We're isolating that. So,
yes. So I tell people all the time. They ask me because I do a million podcasts. They go, "What's your favorite podcast to listen to?" I say LA Meekly. It's my favorite one.
Not only is that the nicest thing, but the only person saying that is you.
And we don't even say that.
Tell us, who are you? What is this group that we've just heard?
Well, my name is Carl Tart. That group that you just heard is me and my good buddy Lamar Woods. We put out an EP together. Now, my rap name is Juancho Ca. Here's where I got that from. There's a basketball player named Juancho Gomez, and I thought it was such a cool name. And then I was like, Juancho. Want your cash, want your cash, and I did that, and I was like so happy about it, like that I had because Lamar had a rap name too, and then all of a sudden the thing gets uploaded, and he's going by his actual name. I said, wait a minute, hold on, I thought we were having aliases, I thought we were hiding this, I thought we were gonna live behind this wall, and people were just gonna discover and go, wow, what is this?
Who is this?
It was this. those two comedians? And then he was like, no, I'm actually going to be doing other music that I don't want to use my rap name for, and it's easier to just put all of it under the same Spotify. I said, you son of a gun.
And you showed up in like a mask and like the whole uniform.
A luchador mask and 18 chains around my bare chest. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I thought we were playing characters. Turns out we're not. But yes, what you heard was a EP that we put out called The Americana. It's got 6 songs on it, I believe. The name was inspired by the Glendale Americana, where we don't shop at the Americana as much as we shop at the Glendale Galleria, honestly.
Yeah.
There's not much going on at the Americana. We'll go to Frida and eat and drink margaritas at 2:00. Other than that, we just wanted to put something out, and it was really fun. And it gets mistaken as Daniel did. Mistaken as
Here
comedy,
we go.
as comedy rap.
I was waiting for him to dress me down publicly.
It's not comedy rap.
Yeah. Okay.
There may be humorous themes, but it's not comedy rap.
Okay,
Good to clarify.
This is everything else I wanted to ask you about because it was like a knee-jerk reaction almost to say like, oh, it's funny, but it's like I didn't mean it like, whenever someone says to me like, oh, that's a funny song, they mean Weird Al. Yeah. And that's never how I mean it. But like, I guess what I meant was like, oh, the lyrics are clever, which I guess is all rap music is is clever like that. I don't know what I was trying to say. I
get what you're saying. That's what happens is when people say it's funny and people think that because it's me and Lamar, and then they listen to it and they go, this isn't funny. And they automatically assume that Lamar and I didn't do good work because we didn't make the songs funny enough. And say, well, that's not what they were meant to be. Now, there are moments where we'll like talk at the beginning of a song, like we did on No Espresso, and we will, our personalities are our personalities. We're not putting on for nobody. No, right. Like the whole style of the rap is called like lifestyle rap, where it's just like we're just talking about our lives and how cool is it that we are making money doing what we love now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and just
hanging around.
That's the thing. Americana. I believe there's 2 separate songs where you refer to things being as cool as feta cheese on like a summer salad or something. And I'm like, tell me that's not funny.
Yeah. Like, but like, if you listen to guys like Larry June, Spit Andretti, Currency, those guys, great rappers, and they also are just, there's never like, we're never talking about violence and selling drugs and things like that, because we don't do that. We're literally talking about going to Salazar and drinking margaritas.
Well, that's what I noticed. Like a lot of it is like mental health, like I'm taking care of my, like, that sort of thing. But then also what I love in any music, but especially like whenever we do these episodes where we want LA based bands and stuff to come on, I'm always hoping there's going to be like a song where they're talking about LA. And that's happened. I think this might be the second time it's happened that we've done this. So I love hearing LA, like the whole thing is called the Americana. You've got the Olympics, the LA Olympics, Glendale Galleria, Burbank Airport. In particular, you mention a place I bring up a lot, which is Cactus Tacos.
Yes, my favorite taco place, which is hard to say. I think it's my favorite. I also like Leo's Truck, but like Cactus is like that shrimp burrito is to die for.
They're really good. Like whenever I bring it up, when we've been asked that, just on the last thing or one of the last things we did with Laura, she asked us like, where's our favorite places? And whenever I bring up Cactus, and everyone's like, oh, interesting. And nobody knows what it is.
Yeah. And you got to go to the one on Vine. That's why I shout out the one on Vine. The one, because I live near one over here in the valley. And that one just ain't hitting quite the same. Y'all know which one I'm talking about. The one on like Tahunga and Moore Park.
That's what it is. Yeah,
because that's the one that I call out as liking. Because there's another one also in the valley, maybe near where somebody here lives, on Woodman. That was good, but they got shut down like twice for having roaches and or rats. So I refused to go back to that one. I've got to do the Vine menu. Yeah, Roachatouille.
I got a rat story. I got a Ratatouille story, rat restaurant story. Speaking of LA landmarks, at Rick Caruso's The Grove,
this episode also sponsored by Rick Caruso.
At Rick Caruso's The Grove, there's a Wood Ranch restaurant that's going to be closing soon. They moving.
Interesting.
Me and my friends were sitting at the table eating Wood Ranch one night, about to go watch Anywhere, Everywhere all the time.
Yeah.
That movie. And
Which has
my buddy, which has Ratatouille. Spoiler alert. Very funny Ratatouille. My buddy Peter is in that movie. And so we're about to go see it. We're eating our food and we're like, guys, we got to rush. Like, let's scarf this down because the movie starts soon and our food took a long time to come. Next thing I know, a fat ass rat just runs into the restaurant. And I'm like, oh my God. And everybody's like, what was that? I was like, y'all won't believe me. Y'all are going to think I'm doing a bit. Because none of y'all saw it. Y'all going to think I'm doing a bit. I swear to you, I'm not doing a bit. A rat just ran by. It kind of went up the wall a little bit and then came back down and ran around. And so I told the server, I didn't ask for a discount. I didn't ask to, we just paid. But I'm like, I just want to let you know. That's disgusting. Don't let us see the rats, buddy.
At least put little bow ties on them.
Yeah. Put little tuxedos on the rats.
All of those like outdoor grove areas, there's just like implied rats, but I don't want to see it. Don't make
Was
me
it outside or was it inside?
We were eating inside, and
Really?
I think it came through the door when they opened like the side door. I think it came through the door,
And he like tipped the maitre d'.
yeah, madam. But
I'm here to do my shift.
yeah, never going back to the Wood Ranch, and even though that one is closing, I don't think I can go back to any Wood Ranch.
I love their barbecue sauce and their rolls at
It
Wood
is
Ranch.
good. Both of those things are good.
That's very surprising. One Wood Ranch, and also that would happen at the Grove, which Rick Caruso would never let that happen.
Rick Caruso sets rats out to scare customers away. Release the rats.
So, yeah, I mean, we talked a little bit about the style of music, but yeah, it is, like I was saying, there's multiple songs where it's like very pro mental health, taking care of yourself sort of lyrics.
Yeah, I'm not somebody who says chill a lot, but I'm like, this is a chill song. This is good. This is nice and easy, and everyone's having fun.
Yeah. Lamar's really big on that. Mm-hmm. We're all going to therapy these days and just trying to enjoy life as it is,
Hard to do.
With the stresses that come along with being having to be a little bit more responsible now and stuff, and
right,
life changing things. The grass is always greener. We're all very excited to be where we are nowadays, but the problems have arisen, and you got to talk to people about it. People are mean on the internet.
Oh boy!
I know that maybe you guys are so strong that it doesn't bother you, but me, it still bothers me a little bit.
You should see the comments we get on Reddit. They are so nice. They just love us so much. You're now on a show on NBC, Grand Crew. Yeah. We talked briefly about this, but like, how's that going?
It's great, honestly. Like, it's what I was scared of before it started is not happening, really.
Right. Yeah.
I was scared of, my family's not going to listen to this. Not because the show isn't great, but because they don't probably know what podcasts are.
They're the ones leaving all the mean comments on
Reddit. They love Reddit, but they don't know what podcasts are. No, but like, I was like nervous that I was going to be like getting hit up for money by cousins I haven't talked to in years. And how do I say no? Because I'm not a person who says no very often. Learning how to put myself first. If I don't want to do something, don't do it. Or, like things like that. Dealing with what comes along with, the pressures of, now that I'm in the public eye, people are going to be more mean. And that hasn't really happened. Honestly, a lot of people like me on the show. So that's cool. There's a couple of people who have said mean things, but then like, it is what it is. Like I get that comes with territory, but just like it was the fear of the unknown, like what's going to happen now? Now that I'm on a network television show, what's going to happen is like some girl I went to high school with say I ran by and slapped her butt when we were 13 or something. I'm getting in trouble. And I was like thinking, have I ever done that? I don't think I've ever done that. I was always too afraid to do things like that. I don't think I've ever done it. Okay, we should be good there. It's like she's going to see me on TV and go, wait, this guy slapped my butt. Just the fear of the unknown and not knowing what's going to happen next. And then turns out nothing happens.
That's sort of the sense, in like the 4 sentences we exchanged on this topic already, but it kind of feels like, and me and Greg have experienced this on a massively smaller scale than what you're talking about, but like, you're working towards something and then like it finally happens and then it just, I don't know, it feels like, there it is. Like it almost feels like nothing happened.
Yeah. I also think what makes it easier too is I get to work with my friends on this show. So like Phil is the creator, Phil Augusta Jackson's the creator. We've known each other for the better part of a decade.
Not
UCB.
the former coach of the Lakers.
Not the former coach. That's why I have to put the Augusta in. Because Phil Jackson of the Lakers' middle name is Columbus. And it's an Atlanta joke. Georgia is Augusta, Georgia, and Columbus, Georgia. Anyway.
I told you not to bring up basketball on this show, even though I brought it up.
You brought it up. It's a hockey-only show. I got some thoughts on hockey, too. I went to some Kings games over this past season. Are there playoffs happening now, too?
The Kings have 2 games left, and they have to win one of them, and they will be in the playoffs.
Okay, great.
They won't.
They very well may not,
but yeah, I get to work with Nicole Byer, who I've known for a long time, Echo Kellum, who I've known for a long time, all UCB and improv people and stuff, and the new people that joined up on the squad like are really awesome too, and so we all are good friends, and it's all fun. And I think that took a lot of if the first job like this, if the first opportunity like this had been in a worse situation that I've had friends who've been on shows that they were like, everybody I was working with was an old, bitter, washed up actor from the 80s who was a real butthole to me. And it sucked. And I couldn't talk to nobody about it because this is a person on television who is now coming back to the green room at UCB where we're drinking Bud Lights before we go to the bar because we don't have enough money to buy drinks. And he's complaining, oh, my TV show. Oh,
and we are talking about Andy Griffith again.
Andy Griffith, when we were on a Herald team together. And he's complaining about Don Knotts. Like, I love to be on a show with Don Knotts. The sting of what could have been, it was just anxieties, you know? Yeah. And that was really learning about what anxieties are and, you know, talking about it with healthcare providers and things and rapping about it too.
Yeah, it feels terrifying to be in that situation, but like, I don't even know where I'm going with this. I'm just terrified, like of the very idea of having, anyway, enough of my fears.
But then also the other thing happens where your ego kicks in when you don't feel like you're getting I'm like in my apartment complex, like I live in
how come no one's recognizing?
Like I was like, y'all don't know you're living with a TV star. Only like
the value of this apartment complex just shot up. I'm here.
Y'all rent is going up because I'm here. I'm not leaving.
Here comes the neighborhood.
Yeah,
you're like rerouting buses that have your face on the side. Of
exactly.
Like, stop at your building.
Oh man! Anytime I was walking down the street, or like if I'm like driving the car with somebody, like you know, I'm on a Hinge date. And accidentally on purpose drive by one of my billboards. Oh, look at that.
Oh, my.
Check that guy out.
Hey, that dude, that's an attractive guy.
Even me, who's like 6 degrees removed, every time I would see one of your billboards with someone, I'm like, you know, I've spoken to this guy before. Because Lamar he's a writer and producer on the show.
Okay. Yeah.
So how did you meet him? I guess UCB stuff?
Second City, UCB, back in the day, in the indie improv scene, probably 12 years ago. What was funny was, back then, I had a girlfriend at the time, and Lamar was the manager at Madame Tussauds, the wax museum on Hollywood Boulevard.
Wow, really?
Yeah, and my girlfriend worked there as one of the people who like have to go around taking pictures of people that nobody wants to buy because they take pictures with their own phones. Like she would talk to him about me, I guess. Like he tells this story. She would talk to him about me being like, "Oh, my boyfriend does comedy stuff like at
my
Second
nameless
City.
boyfriend does."
Yeah. And then finally we met up, and he was like, "I work at the wax museum," and I'm like, "Oh shit, my girlfriend worked there." And she's like, "Oh, she's been telling me about you," and we were like, "This is probably 2010. That's how me and Lamar met. And then we our improv team, formerly known as White Women, now called the Big Team. We formed that team in like 2013. A bunch of guys around the theater that we were all like in the indie circuit with, and kind of formed up like a Voltron of black dudes who were all the one black guy on every improv indie team back in the day. Nobody getting our references, and they wouldn't be like insane references. They wouldn't be more insane than the white references people were making. Like I have to know who the band Styx is, but you don't have to know who Babyface is.
You're not supposed to know about Styx.
I learned about Styx from that '70s show, and then got into their music. I was like, oh, that's not bad.
But you were saying to me that like because so many people know you from comedy, you were a little hesitant at first to really like promote your music because it isn't, you know, it's a different thing.
Yeah, it's a different thing, and people are going to judge, especially, you know, podcast fans who are a lot. I owe them a lot of credit because they actually listen to it. Like, I think the song's at like 15,000 listens on, which is pretty crazy. Like, all the rest of the songs are sub 1,000. You know that the alligator mouth 1,000, but No Espresso is at like 15,000 listens or something like that. It's pretty high up there. So, podcast fan, but I was very nervous to have them listen to it because they know me in one capacity. They don't even like. They can't even separate me on television from the characters that I'll get messages from people being like, hey, I hope this Comedy Bang Bang character shows up on the show. It's like, why would it?
Why would he?
Why would that happen?
Is Chief from Carmen Sandiego going to be on Grand Crew?
No, she's not. Like, why would you think that was? I understand that you were just being supportive, but
Look,
hey,
I'll
support
stop
all of
sending
me.
those messages to
Yeah,
you.
it's just you. It's like be supportive of all of me, not just this one. It's like I think they can't separate. Well, this is how I know and love this person, and now he's kind of outside of that, so he feels more untouchable. So this is how I'm going to touch him. Be like, can't wait for this character to show up on Grand Crew. Oh man, love. And I was like, well, that's never going to happen.
But there's a lot of because like the last music thing was Townland, which is Matt Gorley and a few other comedy people.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of like Sloppy Boys, Don't Stop or We'll Die, Paul Rust's band. Like there's a lot of comedy people who have their own thing. So it's not.
We've all done shows together too.
Really?
Yeah, not Gorley's band, not with Gorley's band. Gorley's band is real too. They don't do funny music.
No.
Yeah.
I guess Sloppy Boys is kind of funny.
Very funny.
That sounds disrespectful. They are funny, but they're doing music to entertain in a comedic perspective, and so is Don't Stop or We'll Die, I think.
But at the same time, like when I was telling people about the Sloppy Boys, they're like, "Oh, it's a joke band," but like it's not a joke. Like this is good music.
They also sound incredible too.
They're good.
Great songs.
They're good at making music. They're the homies, and we used to do like these backyard shows with each other, like 2016.
Oh, really?
We were rapping, like we were doing covers in front of a band. We had a band called the Duty Mob, with like my buddies Tim Neenan and Garrett, and who else was doing that with Joe Weber, and me, Lamar, and Ronnie would rap, but we would do covers.
I've never even thought. I don't think I've ever seen a rap cover before. I never even thought you could do that.
Yeah, it's like doing karaoke at Howl at the Moon. When you got like a live band behind you, but you're doing cover song.
Cool.
Yeah.
So how long have you been rapping? Because at least 2016, I had no idea.
Well, I was never the rapper guy, and then I had to like find a voice in that. Lamar and Ronnie, they've been rapping their whole lives. I made music though. Alumnus of the illustrious Hamilton High School Academy of Music in West Los Angeles.
Need we forget you played saxophone? I think.
Played saxophone, yes.
Can you rap into a saxophone?
It's the rap that Charlie Brown's parents listen to.
Yeah. Oh, well, this is my jam.
Because you've got your voice has a distinct, what's the word, timbre? Because it works in the songs as also like a counter to Lamar's voice. It feels right to me.
Yeah, my voice is too high pitched for my size is what it is. That's what it is. My voice is too high pitched for my size. It doesn't match up. You hear me, you hear a little boy, and then you see me in person, I'm a giant man.
That answers all my questions that I had written down, so thank you.
Whenever I think back on the picture we took in front of the Coliseum, like we were crouching down, but still you were behind us, and I was like, we look like he adopted us. Are you into the current and historic LA rap scene?
Yes, I am. LA rap history is really interesting to me, from the days of like Toddy T and Mixmaster Spade and stuff, who kind of brought rap music. Egyptian Lover, Uncle Jam's Army. They used to be at the sports arena. Am I telling you guys stuff that you already know?
No. Because I keep pitching to Greg a rap/punk episode.
Yeah.
Mostly because I want to learn more about the rap history, and I want to be forced to do it.
So like rap music, so LA has always had a big funk scene. You're like pop locking in Rolls Royce, Cadillac, Lincoln and Mercedes Benz. So rough. You know that song. So
I just learned that War is from Long Beach.
Yeah. And then Ronnie Hudson is the song that I was just West Coast pop locking is what it was called. A lot of bands, so a lot of music is based off of that. So I guess the history of LA rap starts in like the early 1980s, 1981, 82, with rappers like Egyptian Lover and Toddy T and the crew at Uncle Jam's Army with like Greg Mack, who's on K-Day. K-Day is the first hip hop station in America. I think a lot of people, like first all 24-hour hip hop station that only play hip hop music. And it started out here. And then, you get to 1986 where Ice-T comes along, and then of course in 87 with NWA. They were kind of like the biggest group to come out of LA at that time and get popular, which spawned the careers of Dr. Dre, which led to Snoop Dogg and Death Row and all that type of stuff. You know,
West Coast branch.
West Coast brand, yeah. But then also in the late 80s, early 90s, you got guys like DJ Quick, who I don't think gets his just due for what he did for the West Coast, and also just what he did for music in general. And his production is always dope. Yeah, the history of LA rap is not as deep, of course, as the history of East Coast rap. That's where it started at. But we were definitely like second in line. Ice-T,
as always.
Between Ice-T and NWA, like those were like, you know, very popular rappers, but they weren't embraced when they would go on tour until like they had hits. Like, so like NWA literally got booed at shows when they were first coming out. And then all of a sudden they would go back like a year later and everybody's there for them. It's pretty cool stuff. But check out the Bataram by Tidy T and Mixmaster Spade. The Bataram, it was basically like a protest song about Daryl Gates's insane policing of the 1980s.
His tank unit?
Yeah, the tank unit. And they also had a song called Just Say No, which is a really cool, to me that song is really cool. There's a video for it too. That's Mixmaster Spade and Tidy T. And it's so of the time. It's an anti-drug song, even though I think both of those guys were drug dealers, which is cool. That they were making an anti-drug song. But it was
more for them.
Yeah. They were rapping and the way Mixmaster Spade rapped was kind of like very sing-songy. It was of its time. Really. It was like almost like he was like a preacher almost.
Like, who are some names today that I should be aware of? Because I have no idea.
From LA?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, Kendrick is from LA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We just had a Dodger game and everyone made a big deal.
Yeah.
Who is this Snoop Dogg that you're referring to?
Kendrick Lamar. Of course, there's YG. One rapper was just killed.
I heard about that.
Yeah. Draco the Ruler was his name. He was just killed actually at a concert that was put on by Snoop Dogg.
Was that the Justin Bieber thing?
I do not believe Justin Bieber was involved in this situation.
Maybe
besides him hoisting the murder weapon, I do not believe he was involved. Other than that, it's actually some controversy surrounding that right now because apparently he was. The rumor is in the city that he was stabbed by YG's camp.
Oh,
so we don't know. Might want to bleep this out. But no,
we'll muffle your voice. We won't even tell. You will have to go by Juancho Ca from now on in your everyday life. But the Notorious B.I.G. assassination thing was such a big part of LA history. So like, while I don't know, I feel like maybe obviously I don't know that much about the history, but I feel like LA has a very deep, maybe more important between the two coasts of history. I don't know.
Listen, you're not going to get me jumped by some New York people. But
he's trying to lure you into a trap.
Yeah.
Say it.
Let me just tilt my camera.
The Biggie assassination and the Tupac assassination had nothing to do with each other, even though that was the rumor. They don't know who killed Biggie, but they do know who killed Tupac. It's like an unspoken, like, yeah, we know. Orlando Anderson, who was like from a Crip gang that was rivals with the Pyrus that were security for Death Row. And after that Tyson fight in 96, there was a big fight at the casino, and Tupac stupidly got involved in the fight as a person who's not a gang member, who was just a rapper, but wanted to be down with this crew so bad. And they let him get into a fight, and he ended up beating up this guy, Orlando. And that's the person, of course, they were like, they wouldn't even known too. They were driving down the back street in Vegas, Coval Street. And
Even on the street.
They heard some girls being like, girl, that was Tupac up there in that car. And they were like, oh, cool. That's all we remember because he was famous at the time.
Yeah.
So they didn't know they got jumped by a huge group. This guy got jumped. He got stomped out. And then they heard like these girls like leaning out their car being like, it's Tupac up there. Like, and they were like, oh, great. And then they just pulled alongside of him and shot him. Yeah.
Yeah. He gets killed. I mean, I know about the two deaths mostly because I was alive for them, but also last podcast on the left did episodes about their murders. So I it's fascinating because he kind of dies like Billy the Kid, where he was just like, the killer was at the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
They just like cross paths and I gotta kill you.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
So you be safe with your new rap career. I want you to be safe, Carl.
Oh, I'm jumping people all day in the casino. Next time I go to Vegas, I'm jumping somebody. I'm hiring security that are all gang members, and then I'm going, who are you guys' rivals? Because I want to go jump them.
And this was behavior before you started rapping. So my last question regarding your music is we kind of touched on this, but like how has just being in LA influenced what you're talking about, what it sounds like?
Well, I mean, like I said, it's lifestyle rap, and there's no better place to live a fun lifestyle in Los Angeles, I would say. I reference a lot of places. Lamar talks more about mental health. I talk more about food. And
rapper after my own heart.
Yeah. I think for us, though, what kind of inspired it was just like the dream out here. What we're trying to accomplish is living the LA lifestyle that ain't like, we in the club every night and stuff like that.
Right.
But it is like things that we actually do. If we talk about going to get margaritas at Salazar, it is because we'll record a podcast midday and we're like, all right, well, I got a lot of time to kill. Want to hit happy hour? Like, yeah, let's go sit outside. So you've been to Salazar. Y'all know Salazar in
I know
Frogtown.
Salazar, yeah.
It's such a cool vibe. I'm like, man, how fun is it that we've done our work? We get a free day to now just sit and drink margaritas and eat guacamole with pomegranate seeds in it.
The other day I tried going to the Alex Trebek estate sale and we got there. It was a Friday morning and we got there at like 10 a.m. thinking like everyone's at work. But I forgot everyone is always just like having fun. Like everyone just has free time all the time in Los Angeles. And there was a huge line. And now I can't go to Alex Trebek's house.
But if you could have did that, imagine a rap you could have wrote about driving in Alex Trebek's Cadillac. I heard there's a 1981 DeVille Fleetwood.
I've got the perfect rhyme for DeVille.
All right, only $5,000. I'm gonna get that Cadillac if nobody's gotten to it yet. It's Alex Trebek's Cadillac. Like it's that type of shit. Like it's oh sorry, I know we can't cuss on the show. It's that type of hockey.
Anytime anyone swears, I'm going to just put you saying hockey over whatever word they said. So where can people find all of your music or see you if you're performing soon?
You can find it on Spotify and you can look up Lamar Woods because my name is too hard to spell on there.
That's what I kept having to do because I was like Lamar Woods and Carl Tart. No, that's like
just look up Lamar Woods and you'll see the EPs and you'll see music that I'm on. I also got songs with Phil and I got other songs that I've done for other people and where I'll sing the hooks and stuff. I was more of the hook guy. This was my first like rapping. But I also sang a lot of the hooks on this album too. And find us at a happy hour near you.
At the Alex Trebek
Trebek estate sale happy hour. See that's what it's all about. Like that's kind of how like you can't do that if you're not living in Los Angeles.
Right.
Yeah, you got to get to the coal mine.
You rapping about the coal mine. You living in Pennsylvania, and you can rap about going to Alex Trebek's estate sale, and that's a flex. That is a flex. Like,
yeah, that is.
If you had gotten something, this was Alex Trebek's when his hair was curly. This is mustache comb back in the day when he still had his mustache. Yeah. This is Alex Trebek's mustache in a glass case.
Before we go, I would be remiss to not ask you about what hat you're wearing right now because I've been staring at it, not understanding.
So this is a marathon hat, the Marathon Clothing, which was Nipsey Hussle's company, and it's just a big old M with the Birds of Paradise on it.
I thought so.
What that is?
I was expecting because I put on a Los Angeles shirt because I knew Greg was going to wear an LA hat, and I was assuming you were going to wear an LA hat, and I was like, I don't want to be left out of all of this.
Oh man, I got so many here. Let me just for y'all to see the people can't see this. The people
like a
can't
warehouse.
See this, but if you look back there,
oh my goodness.
I got a bunch of LA hats back there.
I'm going to study this screenshot for a while.
You see Clippers, Raiders, LA Raiders, more Clippers, Dodgers, LA Clippers, Chargers, LA Dodgers.
This is
and
beautiful.
there's so many Dodger hats. Somebody asked me recently, they were like, how many Dodger hats do you have? And I was like,
I'd rather
at least just Dodger hats, I have at least 60 probably.
Oh, wow.
Because you have to understand that goes all the way back. So there's hats stacked on every single row.
Right.
So I got a few hundred on that thing.
You keep wearing this one on Grand Cru that it's an LA, I guess it's an LA Dodgers hat, but it has like a palm tree on the side. And I keep wanting to like, I got to compliment this character.
It's that one right there. You see, I don't wear that one. They bought one for me, but that's one of them right there.
That's pretty nice of them to have done that. A set hat.
Yeah. All my clothes were provided by wardrobe, but they modeled it basically after how I dress. That helps me get recognized out in public a lot more because I look exactly the same. I always wear hats.
You should just keep the clothes outside your door at your apartment, and people will they'll recognize the clothes and slowly put it together.
Oh, that's who that is. Greg. Stetsons or
not Porter hats.
Gorham Brothers.
Stetsons.
Go to Gorham Brothers. I like the Stetsons because I like the cowboy culture. There's another Dodger hat right there. The Jackie Robinson edition.
My dad would. Can I buy that off you for my dad?
You can buy your own. It's at Lids,
but it would mean more coming from you.
It's your sweatband in that. Are we all Valley boys?
Well, you're a half Valley boy. I mean,
I guess so. I lived there when I was in college. I lived there for about like 10 years, but I was born in LA Center.
Yes, I just became a Valley boy when I moved on my own. But the mall right there on Riverside and Woodman, you guys should do an episode on LA malls.
I want to. I like between the Citadel and the Galleria and there's so many, the Sherman Oaks, the former Sherman Oaks Galleria. Yeah. There's got to be something people will want to listen to in there.
I mean, me. Every episode, I'm like, boy, them boys done did it again. It's always interesting shit to me. And then hockey. Interesting hockey to me. The Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Mall, I was just trying to do some research on that recently. How it was like really popular in the 50s and 60s, and then it became dilapidated in the 70s when the neighborhood kind of changed. Mm-hmm. And it revamped in like the late 80s. I moved here in the mid 90s, and we would go to the movies at Magic Johnson Theaters right there. We lived across the street. And so but I didn't know that was like a new version of what so I'm like interested in knowing what the mall was like in the 70s and 80s when it was dilapidated. Like what did it look like? What stores were in there? Yeah, like what was going on at that time when that area, when the Crenshaw district kind of went down. And,
is that the same as the Fox Hills Mall, or is that a different mall?
No, it's different.
And so the Fox Hills Mall was built in 1976, and that took all of the customers away from the Baldwin Hills Mall, because now they got a new mall to go to, just not that far down the street, maybe probably like 4 or 5 miles down the way. Newer stores, better neighborhood, I guess,
Yeah.
But in the 40s and 50s, the Baldwin Hills Mall was like state of the art, May Company, and
that's what kind of like in Woodland Hills right now, that dead mall next to the
two
two other malls. It's so weird.
They're about to tear that down though, right?
Aren't they? They're turning it into like the Rams training facility or something.
Oh, wow.
Really?
They're going to make those people travel like that. All right, y'all.
And also,
we work on Woodland Hills and we play in Inglewood.
And they're going to practice in the hottest part of the valley.
Yeah, pretty nuts.
Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, this was down with us.
This was our 1 year anniversary of these music ones, so it was good to have one of the actual artists on to talk about it. So after this, the next thing you're going to hear is Rooftop Fly, everybody. So thank you, Carl.
Woo!
There it is.
Yeah. A player nigga like me, mix the Don P with strong weed. Enjoy yourself, it's on me. Employ myself, bitch, this all me. Full throttle, even on E. Might be overseas, blowing trees, eating banh mi's. So if you ain't talking money, don't you call me. I put 2 V's on the chain between the palm trees. Vintage my champagne and raise your glasses. Toast to all my niggas out here, making it happen. Before I bossed up, I was barely making a fraction. But now, me and money got a fatal attraction. Learn the game and put on all my oldest homies. Villa vibes, dope shit only.
Villa vibes.
Yeah.
Sipping on champagne, you know I'm feeling good. Leather on the seats, but the grain is wood. We rooftop fly. Yeah, we rooftop fly. Smoking on the J and I'm feeling good. They thought that they knew, but they misunderstood. We rooftop fly. Yeah, we rooftop fly.
2020 Chevy is so mean. On black 22s, murder paint job is clean. Had a blowout on the freeway, but I'm straight. Call up Lucas, say I'll be a little late. I ain't ate yet, so I stop at Cactus Tacos all fine. I took the lady well, cause she nice and she fine. She hook up the horchata size large for the kid. Extra salsa in the bag and crema, yeah she did. Lamar hit me, he just landed in Burbank, he need a ride. I grab my food, hop back in the truck, and I slide. Pick up Ronnie on the way. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, got a meeting on the west side today with all my hitters. Grab Marmar, head to the spot to close the deals. Getting bread with your homies, I can't describe how that feels. Yo, it's really crazy, man. We really came up on the same grind, and now we getting it together. It's truly a blessing.
Sipping on champagne, you know I'm feeling good. Leather on the seats, but the grain is wood. We rooftop fly. Yeah, we rooftop fly. Smoking on the J and I'm feeling good.
Self-care,
they
bitch.
thought that they knew, but they misunderstood.
They don't know, Juancho. I am up in the roof with a fur coat on. It's 10 degrees, baby. Let's go. I'm from the American South. Hey, I don't like ropes. Now I'm in Marina Del Rey. picking out boats. Mooney Hall's the only type of shit I sell. I'm trying to ride them waves, boy, we can't afford to fail. My niggas getting rich so we don't feel our pain. That Sauvignon Blanco good with a little rain. This hoodie cost 400, but these cops can't tell. I'm trying to get rich with my friends and stay the fuck out of jail. Used to be harassed by the cops in Forsyth County. Now I'm harassed by the cops on the beach in Maui. Only now I got a lawyer on retainer. I wish my grandma could see her grandson's an entertainer. Niggas try to doubt me, so I switch up the image. That blue Audi look good when I'm up in that water village. I see that BLM sign on the block next door. How about I bring over a pie? Let's see what it's really for. Let's go.
Sipping on champagne, you know I'm feeling good. Leather on the seats, but the grain is wood. We rooftop fly. Yeah, we rooftop fly. Smoking on the J and I'm feeling good. They thought that they knew, but they misunderstood. We rooftop fly. Yeah, we rooftop fly.